getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Y'all hit that like button on your way in the building. Let your friends and family members know about the channel as well. And make sure if you're new to this channel, subscribe right now to TD Fans Talk on our road to 30,000 subscribers. Man, I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's doing good. It's been quiet in these streets. You know, I'm shocked that the propaganda hasn't been out there like it is every year. At least by now you'd be hearing, all the fake news, the crazy fake news for people is trying to stay relevant. Hey, my sources said this and my sources said that. We're not getting that this year. It's been quiet on all fronts. I think it's quiet on all fronts because everybody nervous. Everybody nervous, man. Tuanier's like, please don't make this man play on this fifth-year option. And all the Tua haters are out here talking about, oh my gosh, what if they don't sign him? Please don't long term. This is crazy, man. I think that's what's going on. But listen, I've been on record. I've already told you all. The man is going to sign an extension. All right. Chris Greer and that front office will get an extension done. I think that they'll end up caving. And we'll have those discussions when the time comes, man. I know I'm so confident that they'll get a deal done. I know a lot of people are like, I don't know now, TD. Listen, it's going to happen. Okay. Love the shirt and hat, TD. Listen, man, roundtablesportshop.com, man. This is from Roundtable Sports. Go check us out. We got the merch on deck. Make sure you see the fit. You see the fit. All right. Go check it out. We got all the merch loaded in the site. So if you want to, get on this, it's pretty dope, man. I love trucker hats now. I'm like addicted to trucker hats, man. Boy, smooth. I love them. All right. I was like debating, should I, go hair out, or put the trucker hat on, man. Yeah, I'm loving trucker hats these days. I think I'm in a trucker hat phase. But yeah, man, we got Omar Kelly stopping by this morning. Listen, it's gonna be a good conversation. We're not gonna chat it up long, maybe about 30 minutes, but we're gonna talk about the the long-term impact of Tua's contract extension, because we had a conversation on Twitter where, he was asking, why is everybody panicking about a Tua extension? And I basically said, I think I know why they're panicking, and I'll explain. And he said, hey, I'll come through. Let's chop it up and talk about it. So He'll be coming through this morning, and we'll chop it up. And it'll be very interesting to see what he thinks about what I have to say, and what I think about what he has to say, because I know I could tell he's definitely been studying the cap a lot lately. The impacts, because we've never been in this situation. I mean, we gave Tannehill the bag, but we gave him the bag. We never was like fretting about how much. We gave him a bag, But now it's like, with this market going crazy the way that it is, yeah, as crazy as this market is, I think now is the time where everybody's really paying attention to contract details. TD Fraud talking to House said Tua is not getting extended. Time to face reality. The Dolphins know what they got and what he is actually worth. That's really the debacle of it all. That's the scary part, the concern of it all. So I don't know if the team actually shares those same sentiments that you share. When you say time to face reality, the Dolphins know what they got and that he is what he is actually worth. Yeah, but that's why I think he's going to get an extension, because of what they believe he is worth. So, we'll see. We'll see. I'm concerned because I don't know the plan. Yeah, I mean, none of us do. Let me know, yes or no, in the chat. Did you watch the Giants Hard Knocks last night? Did you watch Giants Hard Knocks last night? Let me know in the chat. If you watch Giants Hard Knocks last night, that's all you needed to know. They coach, general managers, they have coaching sessions on what to say to the media, so if you saw Hard Knocks last night, you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay. So you never know. Chris Greer's not going to show his hand, but I don't think that they share the same sentiment. I think the Dolphins, and I've always been on record, Tua is a good quarterback. Okay. But is good enough in today's NFL? So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, listen, man, we got a legend in the building. 25 plus years in the business, Miami Herald columnist, journalist, and make sure that you check out his work on Miami Herald. Another thing, if you ain't got Miami Herald, subscribe to it. You're tripping, because they start you out at 99 cents for the first month. So go check that out. That way you can catch all of the content from Omar Kelly at the Miami Herald, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, let's bring in the legend himself, the Dolphin legend, because he's been covering this team for so long. What's up, Omar? What's going on, man?
Chilling, man. What's happening with you, TD?
I'm good, man. We live right.
What slander have you put out today about Tua?
Nothing, man. I've actually been on good behavior. I said, Omar coming on. Let me button my tie up. Let me act right.
Listen, you're full of slander. Let's address this.
Just stop with that, man.
I'm just trying to bring some reason into the situation in terms of helping you understand. You can argue that, okay, is Tua a $50 million a year quarterback? And I would say, no, he's not. But I'd also make the argument to you that neither is Joe Burrow, neither is Justin Herbert, neither is Trevor Lawrence, neither is Jared Goff. Neither is, Dak Prescott, for instance. I consistently make the argument to people that, yes, they get you with this fake APY, average per year, based on playing, semantics with the contract. But when you break it down, these quarterbacks are not making $50 million a year. Trevor Lawrence, for instance, and I continue to talk to people about how that deal, if Tua wanted to sign that deal, I would have no problems with it. Trevor Lawrence in 2024 will make $39 million. That includes his $37.5 million signing bonus. 2025, he will make $37 million. 2026, he will make $37.5 million. 2027, he will make $41.5 million. 2028, which is the last year that the deal is actually real in terms of guaranteed money, is over. This is the last year we have to honor. But more than likely, with a lot of these quarterbacks, they restructure their contract. They get teams to, they get a bonus ahead, and they have trigger years. So yeah, most of these quarterbacks will see majority of their money. But the last year that Trevor Lawrence's deal is guaranteed, it's at $46.5 million. Now, if you just average out what Trevor Lawrence makes in the first 5 years of his contract, which are all the guaranteed money, the $200 million of money that he's going to receive in his contract, he's making $40.4 million a year. Now, I asked you this question. Would you pay $40.4 million a year for Tua or a top 10 quarterback, Jared Goff, or anybody?
Well, the problem is, let's go in the world that you just opened up, that we gave Tua a Trevor Lawrence contract.
Well,
let's operate out of that world real quick. Trevor's numbers wouldn't be the same as Tua's numbers.
What do you mean?
Because Trevor, no. The 40 annually, the real money, because I'm with you on that. A lot of people aren't on that, but I'm with you on that. The real money, the 40 for Trevor with the same contract for Tua wouldn't be 40 because Trevor has that extra year. They extended him after year 3. Tua is getting extended after year 4. So those AAVs are a little higher in every single season for Tua.
But I understand where you're coming from. Because Trevor got his contract after year 3, he has a 7-year deal. I looked up the contracts for all of the quarterbacks who got contracts, and the only guys who got 7-year deals are those who got it heading into their 4th year. The Justin Herberts, the Joe Burrow. Tua would not be getting a 7-year deal. That
means his numbers will balloon quicker.
That is true. That is facts. You would only have to, if you do the deal now, you'd only have to give him fork in the $23 million, which is, you're paying that anyway. If you give him the deal now, the cap number goes down from 23 to something in the neighborhood of, I believe it's probably 8 or 9. And that gives you more cap space for the future. The whole point about doing.
Well, I'm sorry, Omar, to cut you off. That depends on the real. Thank you. That's the real key to it all, Omar. If you gave
Tyreek Hill $50 million in the signing bonus on a $120 million contract, why would you not give Tua a $50 million?
I know, but we got quarterbacks out here that have gotten $38-40 million signing bonuses.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
And
that's true.
That's if we're gonna give Tua a $40 million signing bonus, let's roll.
Oh,
but when you
can even go higher than that. I mean, the highest signing bonus is out there.
A little. But here's the problem: if you're doing these
what you think Steve Ross got a money problem?
No. That's not the issue. See, you're operating off of cash that the players get. I'm operating off of cap hit.
Oh, cap hit ain't real.
No, cap hit is real, but the way that you can push the credit card down the road, I get what you're saying. But what I'm saying here is this: if you give this man in that $78 to $79 million signing bonus range, some of these quarterbacks get.
He's not gonna get the highest is 73 at and that's Goff. Goff beat Lamar, who had
70. Yeah, I meant 74. My number is my bad.
Okay.
That's a problem for us, Omar. If you do that.
If Tua's camp got an offer for $74 million signing bonus and they haven't signed that yet,
what I'm trying to tell you is, if we did offer a $74 million signing bonus, that's when the cap hit starts to become an issue right away.
No, not really, because you only
Spreading that
divide.
out in shorter years for Tua, a 5 year. You see what I'm saying? That
You spread a cap hit out over a 5-year period. Let me do the math.
it's going to be about 16 per 17.
74 divided by 5 is okay. It's 14 per. All right, 14 per plus a 1 million base salary. So that means he's going to be on the books for 15.8.
No. You got to take that 24 million for the 5th-year option and put it in option bonus spread out between the 5 years.
You don't have.
That's guaranteed. That's his guaranteed money, unless his team is just going to shred that up.
If you rework the contract and give him the signing bonus, then the money is there. But
are they going to shred that up though, Omar? Is Tua's team going to shred that up?
Absolutely. No, it's already owed. So no matter what you do, you'd have to give Tua. If you want to do a 5-year deal, then it really only be a 4-year extension. There's no way they're going to do that, especially when they probably want 3 years completely guaranteed. So they're probably going to look in the neighborhood of more of a 6-year deal, which is in line with who got a 6-year deal.
6-year deal? Come on, Omar.
No, 6-year deal. I mean,
you think they offering Tua a 6-year deal?
Jared Goff had Jared Goff. What you're talking about is in the neighborhood of what Jared Goff did. And Jared Goff got a 5-year deal. So basically it was a 4-year extension. Now, that is not something that I would think would be wise on Miami's part. But 6-year makes it a little bit more cap friendly.
It does, but it
doesn't matter.
It
doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is because and I don't think he's going to get a $74 million salary signing
bonus.
I think he's probably in the neighborhood of 50 million. If you gave 50 million to Tyreek, you can give 50 million to Tua, especially when the contract's substantially larger. What it does is 7-year contract is out of the question because he's not in that neighborhood of where you can work in his rookie salary. No. 5 years, a little bit too cap intensive in terms of you can't hide money or put void years on it. Maybe they put void years on a 6-year contract and add some void years and whatever. They like void years. It is what it is. This is a team that lives off credit card. But the whole purpose of signing him to a multi-year extension, whatever price you want to put on it, whatever average you want to put on it, and I'm talking real average, not fake average.
Yeah.
It's about making his cap hit manageable for 3 years, which gives you a 3-year window, including this year, to actually win something, to actually be good, to actually be competitive. Okay. I say you piggyback that with a Tyreek extension, whatever you feel off a guy who's coming off back-to-back 1,700-yard seasons, is a first ballot Hall of Famer, trajectory to score more touchdowns than everybody in the NFL during his 9-year tenure. Like, okay, do whatever you want to do with that. But if you extend Tua and you extend Tyreek, you're basically giving yourself about $22 million in cap space that can help you build a roster in future years, even if they are 2 of the 5 highest paid players at their position. Now, does that guarantee you anything? No, it doesn't. But it gives you the framework that you could say, okay, for the next 3 years, these contracts aren't going to be a problem. Then when we get to that 3-year window where it is going to be a problem, we can restructure, we can sign up some
more extensions for certain players.
Do more extensions. We can continue to push the can down the street.
So here's my concern. This is why on Twitter I had said I could tell you what the panic is, right? I'm a firm believer that if you couldn't win when he was making 10 million, what make you think he's going to win when he's making a larger amount, right? And this is what I'm showing in the books. I know your numbers say 22. You might be right. When I ran the numbers, it gave me 17 million when I restructured Tyreek and Tua. It gave me 17 million more this year, which would give us over $35 million in cap space.
If you extend Tyreek, you get about 14 million in this year. If you extend Tua, you're going to save about 8.
Depending on the signing bonus. I think that's where our numbers are off because we probably
he's not getting $70 million signing bonus. He's in the name. He's probably somewhere in the 40 to 50 million signing bonus. At least that's what I would be pushing. If you gave it to Tyreek, why would you not give it to Tua?
I can see that
if you're their agent. especially when you need the signing bonus to keep the cap numbers salary cap friendly.
So
Go ahead.
So here's where I'm at with it. This year, we can sit around with about $30 million in our pocket. I know that they're going to spend a few more bucks.
You mean if they do both extensions?
Yes. Well, I'm under the belief that they will. I mean, I've been on record saying Tua is getting extended.
Yeah, I think Tua is getting extension. And the question is, will he sign what they're offering? And I don't think anybody has an answer to that question. And in their defense, they have all the leverage.
Who is they?
The Dolphins.
Not if they brought in Tannehill, but that's not let's not get it.
See, and here's my problem. Here's my problem.
I'll just mess around, man.
No. I'll let that slide. I ain't even gonna entertain. And to be honest with you, if something happened to Tua, Tannehill is your best option.
Yeah, for sure.
You're not winning nothing. You might
Mike White, yeah.
You're not winning nothing with Mike White or Skylar Thompson. I will say this. If they don't, the Dolphins have the leverage from this standpoint. If you're Tua, do you want to go into this season knowing that on any given play, somebody can knock you out, somebody can destroy your hip with $23 million in the bank? Or let's just be cheap and say that the Dolphins offered him $100 million if guaranteed money.
120 guaranteed.
120 guaranteed. Do you want $23 million or do you want $120 million? Even if I don't offer you what you think the market is.
You got to take that guaranteed money, man.
You got to. We're talking about, like, people will say, like, if I gave you TD $23 million, are you set for life? Are your children set for life?
Well, yeah, I know how to make that set for life for sure.
Okay, so now if I give you $100 million, because keep in mind, who's getting $100 million in the NFL? In guaranteed money?
Just that one out of every 150 players. Yeah.
So if I give you and that's why it's kind of disappointing that it's gotten to this point, because you've had months and months and months to get this done, and the price keeps going up with every quarterback that gets a deal. And yeah, you want the deal to be favorable on your end or look favorable on your end. But
whose fault is that? That's his team's fault, isn't it?
Because his camp? You're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Well, because like at some point, who steps in and say, "Man, let's play football. This is what you all more than you could have ever have dreamt of," right?
No, I don't. Everybody has to do their job, and that includes Tua. Tua's job is to be the leader of the Dolphins and to orchestrate the offense. And at some point, because I do think he's not going to participate in camp. I think he's going to show up. I think he's going to do his 7-on-7s and sit out team. And that's what I would do, because that's when you can twist their arm, because you're holding back the team and the team's development, but that's not on you. That's on them.
So how does that work though, Omar? You do 7-on-7s, but you don't participate in the rest. And Chris Greer says, I'm not giving you the guarantee money that you're asking for or the signing bonus, whatever, right? Whatever the holdup is. Mm-hmm. How does that work? Does he say, all right, I'm ready for the regular season though? Because if they come to a bump in the road and he's not really practicing,
Christian Wilkins practiced for 2 weeks, took one snap of a joint practice with the Falcons, and then said, "All right, I'll see you when we get this deal done."
But they can't afford to do that at that position, though, Omar.
They certainly can't. But that's his leverage.
But and all jokes aside, real talk. But does Chris Greer make a statement then? Do they play the statement game and actually like bring in a guy like Tannehill or something just to say, "Hey, just in case"?
I don't think anybody can learn the offense and have it custom made to and then you're expending more resources at a position. No, I think it'll be like the Christian Wilkins situation. Okay, when we finish with it, because I don't think Tua's going to play in the exhibition season. I don't know if you think Tua's going to play in the exhibition season or not. So that's not important. The joint.
But I need those 11-on-11 reps. I mean, that's not good.
And you need the joint practice reps as well. But if you don't get them, what you gonna do?
Yeah, but I understand. That's just the bottom line. But that sucks as a fan because that can really hurt you. Like I'm the type of person that feel like that impacts a game or two.
Yes, it does. And just like Vic Fangio said, Christian's game was impacted by his holdout. And I would argue against that and say Christian had legs to play 900 damn snaps a season, but primarily because he took that month off.
A little slow rev up.
Yeah, a little slow rev up, and maybe the offense has a slow rev up. But I mean, this is a guy who's been in this offense. He knows the offense. Let's say he attends team meetings. It is what it is. This is the time to do business in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like we talk about this all the time. The season is not the time to do business and take care of business. Business gets taken care of on both sides. It's not just on Tua, it's also on the Dolphins organization.
Yeah.
If you are not offering a market rate price, and let's say Jordan Love goes out there and then he jumps ahead of Trevor Lawrence, and he's only had half of a good season, what do you look like? What do you as an organization look like when you've got a guy who's done everything you've asked him for 2 years, and then you don't want to pay him the market value? And I understand everybody, just because Billy jumped off the ledge don't mean I got to jump off the ledge. But this is how business gets done in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was thinking about this, would Tua be the first quarterback to do a hold in? He probably would. Carson Palmer was the only quarterback that actually sat out the season trying to force his hand away from the Cincinnati Bengals. And he eventually did a year later, or retired. Tua is not going to retire, but these are the cards that he's dealt. If you don't want to offer him what he feels is a fair deal, and he decides that he doesn't want to participate in team drills, which is his right to, as long as you show up for work, they can't fine you $50,000. Just because you show up for work, that does not mean you have to participate. That's in the new CBA rules. You can show up and do Xavier and do Christian Wilkins. You can show up and just show up.
Sit in.
Yeah. And that's how business gets done in the NFL right now. And who the pass rusher for the Bosa, the Bosa kid who missed camp because he's in a similar situation as Tua. Like, does anybody care that he missed camp? Yes, it's not a quarterback, but he was trying to force their hand to make sure that he was compensated at the rate that he felt like he should have been, and he ultimately got what he wanted. Sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands and be the tough guy. Now, do I think that's into it? No. But do I think he can do it? Absolutely. And do I think he should do it? Absolutely. This is how business gets done. And I'm pretty sure he'll have the support of his teammates.
So, and I know we don't have that much time, so I want to get into this real quick based off of what you just said, right? Tua didn't, well, I can't say Tua put us in this situation because injuries happen, okay? But here's what's the toughest thing in the world. Chris Greer is in a situation, and the front office, because it's more than just him, they're in a situation where let's not act like everything is concrete. There is a bit of a chance that's being taken by extending Tua Tagovailoa.
What's the chance?
The chance of further injuries. The chance
you don't have that same chance with Joe Burrow?
No. I get what you're saying, but I'm trying to stay out of other people's house in that regard to make like our house, our books, our finance. We don't want to get evicted. Screw them, right?
Okay.
So that chance, but also like this is the piece that I guess a lot of people go back and forth on Twitter. We can't ignore the overall play. We've seen success from Tua. We've seen Tua Tagovailoa play good football, but there are moments where when you need him most, I know a lot of people, against great defense. No, when you need him most, that's what I call it.
Okay.
When you need him most.
End of the Philadelphia Eagles game, end of the Tennessee Titans game, end of the Kansas City game.
The team doesn't show up.
End of the Buffalo game. Yes, the team does not show up.
But I firmly believe you can't be a part of the team that doesn't show up. And he doesn't either. He contributes to that. And does that mean that, hey, he doesn't deserve to continue to be invested in? Not at all. I keep telling people, Tua last year, because I have my own little quarterback grading system, and Tua passed it last year as far as the numbers and stuff and everything. I have like this whole spreadsheet for it. And I say, hey, we wanted him to hit a 82, and he hit an 84 on my scale, right? And that's worth investing in and going forward with fifth year and so forth, right? But the problem is that long-term investment is still a gamble. And this is where me and you came to a middle road on Twitter.
What's your alternative?
I get that. But what's the concern of the future? Why are people panicking for the future? So let me just lay this out for you.
Panicking for the future. Go ahead.
So remember, I was at the beginning of this show, I said, I'm a firm believer if you couldn't do it making 10 million, it's harder to do it making, more, right? And here's my thing. I kind of get irked with the term continue to build around Tua. I get irked about it. And let me tell you why. The roster we had last year and what we've miraculously, I'd admit, created this year, right? I'm looking at the money next year, right? And I'm looking at the money in 2025 and 2026. Mm-hmm. Yes, we'll have money to get some good players, but I don't think Chubb is going to be on this roster next year. I don't think Teron Armstead is going to be on this roster next year. I think they congratulated Raheem Mostert and paid him for what he's done and what he's going to do this year, but I don't think he'll be here. Shaq Barrett, OBJ. No. So when we have those cap savings from the extension and we carry money over, we're still going to start next year in a negative, even with a Tua and Tyreek extension. It's still going to be a negative. I've already ran the numbers.
I don't think that's accurate, but I'll let it go. I did. If where they are right now, no extension, they're 8 million in the positive.
They're negative. No, next year they're negative 9 million right now.
But they have 16 carryover right now. So that
but I already know with injuries and maybe one or two more moves this offseason, they're probably going to have about 8 or 9 whenever we start the regular, like somewhere in the regular season.
I really don't think there's much. And remember, the only the top 51 salaries count. Like Calais Campbell's salary barely even counts.
So let's go off of that then. Let's say that the Miami Dolphins have positive 20 million next year starting.
No, they'll have a positive 8 as things stand.
So if your numbers have positive 8, mm-hmm. and the number of players that may not even be on the roster under mm-hmm. that.
And then add on the franchise tag for Tua, which is, let's say.
No. He got extended. He got extended.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You're saying he got extended. Okay.
Yeah. So see, that's the piece.
So we're now at positive 16. Okay, go ahead.
No. If Tua get extended, we have less cap next year because he's not counting against the cap at all right now next year. See, that's what people aren't thinking about. Extending Tua, even if the number isn't crazy whack in next year, the negative, my numbers, but remember the signing bonus thing with us goes to negative 40. But with the signing bonus, let's just say 30, negative 30. Because Tua's extension is going to make us more negative. My thing is, we know they're going to make all the moves to get positive, but you still have to replace talent on the roster. I feel like the Miami Dolphins extending Tua and Tyreek are going to enter a phase of Jenga. Pull this out, keep on.
That's what they've done for the last decade.
No, but this was different. But this was different. But this is different, Omar. That's what we've always done for 20 years. In the last 5 years, we said we're going to take this new approach that's never been done. We're actually going to build a foundation and everything.
Trade away our assets, get drafted.
That's the first time we've done that.
Realize that you can't afford to retain everybody.
That's the first time we've ever done that, Omar.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
But now we're going right back into that, in my opinion, purgatory. And to me, that's a failure.
It's a play for now. It's a all-in approach. I do not support it. I do not support it, but I understand it, and that's because they believe that they can win at the highest level. And let me make this argument. There's two things I want to make an argument with you about. Let me get this one out first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They let's just say you're right, and they got to cut Armstead and they got to cut Chubb. Well, they drafted both of their replacements this year, so that we see how the game is played. This is
a guaranteed solidified player to a hopeful. That's all I'm saying. That's the
nature of the NFL. That's the nature of the NFL. Every single team is doing that, and every single team has these complicated decisions. Look at Dallas.
Will the replacements be better? What's the odds of the replacements being better or just as good, Omar? That's the concern, and you couldn't win before.
Okay, you couldn't win before. Let me make the first argument that I want to make. Okay, if we're talking about the Philadelphia game where Tua throws an interception on the final play, trying to go win the game on a pass intended for Mostert, were there not drops from Tyreek in that game that were critical drops? Okay, let's say Tyreek, the best weapon in the NFL, actually makes those plays. You put yourself in a better position.
Yeah.
Kansas City, Tyreek has a drop and a play where forward progress, stop, fumble, ball turnover. It was I believe 7-point swing. Let's say that doesn't happen. They have a better chance of beating Kansas City. Not to say that they would. Tennessee game, defense collapses, gives up a lead. Tua gets the ball with like 1:30 left on the critical drive. 2 plays collapse from the offensive line led to pressure that led to sacks, hurry ups, pressures, and the ball basically being the drive being ending on downs because Tua is sacked.
Small little things. Yep.
Small little things. But we put all of these things on Tua and say Tua can't win. Buffalo game. Tyreek comes out of the game because he's injured on the final drive, and then we replace him with Chase Claypool, who runs a circular route in Tyreek's place. Ball is, I forget what happened to that ball. Ball intercepted? I can't remember. A Buffalo. Yeah, that was interception, right? Can't remember how.
You're talking about a Chiefs interception where he rounded it.
That was the Chiefs?
In the middle of the left side of the field?
No. I'm talking about Chase Claypool.
Don't recall that one.
Okay. It's we all sit here and we say these things like, oh, Tua can't win big games. Tua doesn't play clutch. And mind you, he did not get the job done. And ultimately, he who wears the crown, heavy is the head he who wears the crown. He who wants a $40 to $50 million salary, people count the fake numbers. I count the real numbers. It's going to be 40 to 42 a year. But it wasn't just him. The Kansas City game, I don't even like bringing that up because neither team could throw the ball headed in one direction. The Chiefs were just more familiar with playing in those conditions. Teams couldn't even kick the ball going left to right. Like neither team could. So how are they going to throw the ball? The Chiefs just got it done. We're judging him based on and saying that he's a failure, even though he's the reason why they've had 4 straight winning seasons. He's the reason why they've made the progress that they've made as a team. Offensively, they had the number 6 offense, and now they had the number 1 offense, and they hope to build on that. He's the reason, and people who say Tyreek is the reason, and I say that's a valid point, but it's hard for me to say that okay, he's the reason that they haven't taken it to another level. When in so many of these instances, it were other components like Tennessee, the defense failed them. And they would have had a home game against probably the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Can I respond to because I see your point here. So here's my response to it. This is what I always tell people, and I'm being fair here. At least I think I am, right? The first thing I want to say is I don't count what could have been. Like we would have had a home playoff game. Because in order for me to do that, now I got to go to every quarterback in the league and every team in the league and say, if he didn't drop this ball for Josh Allen so that's why I don't do we would have had a better outcome, right? Okay. But then when we go to particular games, Remember what I said earlier in the show. This is where I feel like when I do these podcasts, I'm fair, but honest. And let's preface what I said earlier. Tua isn't the reason we lose these games. Now, there's been 1 or 2 or 3 in his career where he's the reason.
Yeah.
But, what quarterback ain't the reason in 1, 2, or 3 in a 4-year period, right? So that's fair. But here's the thing. To be the franchise quarterback, you can't contribute to the loss. Yeah, in the Tennessee game, defense folded late. They didn't fold early. Offense folded late too. Now, it wasn't just Tua, but a lot of those examples you named, Omar, here's my issue. This is as fair as I could be to Tua ever. I don't judge Tua off of other people's mistakes. I go through film and I say, right tackle got blown up. Anything Tua could have done? Nope. Hey, that ain't on him. I don't care about that play. Tyreek, come on. Waddle, you got to make that catch. You got to take care of your quarterback. That ain't on Tua. I only stop and evaluate the plays that he could control. Tua, you threw in a double coverage. It may have been a bad route, but look, like if you would have went to your second read, it's wide open. Like you're really trying to focus on that first and force it in there. So all of those games you mentioned, he does not. This is what I'm saying. Tua is a good quarterback, man. The problem is in today's NFL, I'm a firm believer that it comes down to that 1 or 2 or 3 plays. And if it's a franchise quarterback, you can't point at the other guys on those 1, 2, or 3 plays. I got to point at my quarterback on those 1, 2, and 3 games. And I'm telling you, Omar, with all biasness aside, I'm listen, when I watch Tua's film and I only evaluate him at all those games you mentioned, there's too many 1, 2, and 3 plays that you gotta hit to be that dog in this league. That's where
I'm not going to argue with you on
and
that.
I'm not going to say his 5th year doesn't transform into that. But my biggest argument of it all is, should we wait and see? Because if it doesn't, we locked down for 3 more years.
Okay,
this
is the perfect lead into my second point of the argument. Okay, let's say we don't do this multi-year extension at whatever the price is. What is your alternative? Because you're already crying about the price on the multi-year extension. Okay,
so I'll give you an example.
So don't take the multi-year extension, and then I'm gonna hit you with the tag, which is $43 million, which is even worse than what it would be if we signed him to the multi-year extension. What is your alternative? You don't want to do the extension. So
let me give you the alternative. Dolphins got options then. Hold on. Let me give them to you. I'm gonna give you all the options.
Okay.
But what I need you to think about when I give you these options, at least next year, they will be informed options.
Okay.
They will be informed options. So
give me these options.
Tua gets hurt this year, Omar, and the team fizzles out, 7 wins, whatever, right?
Shador Sanders?
No.
Cam Ward?
All I'm saying to you is this. If Tua gets hurt this year, are we even having a conversation about contract next year?
No, depends on what the injury is, but
you know what I mean. Okay,
I see where you're coming from.
So that's one option where
no. But then you're talking about a hodgepodge of quarterbacks who haven't even proven that they can do anything.
What I'm doing, it doesn't matter though. I'm not going to go down the road and invest long term in this guy anymore. I have to start my future now.
All right,
it's just the reality. That's number one.
Okay, now, whatever your future is.
Tua doesn't get hurt, but in the biggest moment, once again, we get that situation, but you don't believe anymore. We're restarting, but you still believe in them. Now you look at your options. You say, I can franchise tag him while accumulating my draft picks and pushing him forward to the next year, giving him one more shot. Or I can transition tag him and see if there's a quarterback out there like a Dak Prescott that I like, that I feel like I can get. I'll transition tag him or don't tag him at all, depending on if I can get that guy or not. So that's more options.
Market bid him. Okay.
Now, guess what? Tua absolutely balls out. I don't care if he balls out and he's that dude, and we all quit all this warring and we believe in him. Everybody, listen, break the bank. I don't care. You in cap trouble? Who cares? But you know what, Omar?
You know,
and then on top of you knowing, imagine giving him a deal right now and the latter happens versus what I just laid out. It just feels so much better, bro. It just feels better.
I disagree with you from the standpoint of, okay, you mentioned Dak Prescott. So you don't want to pay Tua, who puts up comparable numbers to Dak Prescott, but you want to make Dak that, because Dak is going to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL when he gets in. That's just the reality. Do you want Dak might be the first $55 million quarterback? So you rather pay Dak, who obviously, even if Dak takes the Dallas to great heights, they're not going to let him go. They're going to pay. Dak is in one of the greatest positions that I've ever seen a quarterback in, because he has a no trade clause.
Came off his best season of his career.
He had a no tag clause also. So either they're going to make him the highest paid quarterback before they begin this season.
You're a free agent.
Or he's going to play the season and make it to free agency. And, if I'm Dak, I want the money in my hand as opposed to taking that massive risk. But so you're not willing to pay to a market value deal, but you're willing to go make Dak the highest paid quarterback in the league. Okay. You don't want to do that alternative. Okay. Kirk Cousins, he's probably going to be free next year. He's got $45 million in real money owed to him on the second year of his deal, coming off an Achilles. Do we know if Kirk's going to be good? Like if Atlanta if Atlanta didn't draft Michael Penix, you don't know.
You don't know, but the thing is, at least we know about Tua now. See, you're talking about next year's options.
No, you don't know about Tua now. Even if Tua, the fear is a injury risk. Could he suffer something catastrophic that makes me guaranteeing 3 years of his contract make me look stupid? Or could he regress? He hasn't regressed yet. So I don't know why I would hope we would take that off the table in terms of him regressing this year.
He wasn't as productive as 2 years ago, but go ahead.
He still led the number one offense.
Yeah, I agree. Numbers starting to come down though.
Yes, just
with five. Well, hold on. With 5 extra games this time,
and the injuries don't factor that out, because I could argue to you that there's no way they should have put Raheem or Jalen Waddle on the field in the Kansas City game, based on how they looked at practice, but they did it anyway. But nobody factors that in, that Tua was playing the final stretch of the games without his top 3 weapons being healthy.
Yeah, but would it have mattered in KC?
Probably
would it
not.
have? Yeah, because but this is where I urge you, go watch that Kansas City field on all the routes outside the numbers in the third and fourth quarter.
I watched it.
I understand we want to say the weather, but Tua just like wide open guys just flat out
quarterback. Even Patrick Mahomes could not throw.
Patrick Mahomes, that's the difference. Patrick Mahomes
made one play going left to right.
Yeah, didn't I tell you it comes down now to that 1, 2, or 3 plays?
Absolutely. And is that my standard? Am I holding to it as a standard? Am I really realistically holding to it to the standard of Patrick Mahomes, who probably will arguably go down as probably the greatest quarterback in NFL history?
You have to, or you ain't ever winning a Super Bowl. See, that's the metric.
You're never winning a Super Bowl then.
No, see, hold on. With Tua, that's why you got to keep searching for that guy.
Okay,
you said it yourself on Twitter, Omar. If you ain't got an elite quarterback, you need one. You said it yourself.
Like this is so easy. You act like they've only spent 20 something years.
Well, Omar, it's not easy, but it's harder when you stop looking. It's not easy, but it's harder when you stop looking, and that's the point with the Dolphins.
And which is why I make the argument, and I don't necessarily agree where Chris Greer was. Like, to me, Michael Penix, I'm sorry, if he was there in my selection, and I know he wasn't.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. See? Y'all heard it here. Y'all heard it. I've been telling y'all about Michael Penix.
My position is always the same on that. I don't care.
But we wouldn't have been able to get him anyway, though.
No, you weren't able to get him anyway.
Yeah,
But
we
but
thought we might have
you,
been able to.
but the point is, okay, you don't like Tua. You don't want to invest in Tua. You want him to
Oh,
play out the 5th-year option.
oh,
Okay, you want to go with the worst case scenario. Then I'm gonna give you the worst case scenario too, which is okay, you tag him or transition tag him, and then let's say you transition tag him, and then a team actually does sign him. Let's say Carolina decide or
first
Raiders.
round picks, baby.
No, transition tag means you get nothing.
No,
So
no.
you get nothing for transition.
Then what am I tripping? What's the other tag with the
The
two
non-exclusive franchise.
non-exclusive versus
Okay,
exclusive? Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Non-exclusive, 38 million.
you want first round picks for a quarterback? Okay, that's fine. I like obviously teams don't want to do that because they didn't bid on Lamar Jackson, so
I
they're
know.
probably not going to bid on Tua. But okay, let's say you do put the non-exclusive franchise tag on him. Now you in cap hell for $43 million. Unless you sign him to the deal that he wants, he's preventing your team from making any kind of moves, and you can improve your roster while you still have to purge your roster. So,
Omar, I'm gonna go out and predict the future here, bro. Because I know you don't have much time, but listen, man. I see it. I see it coming. You can give him the extension to give the team flexibility all you want. They're going to be for the next 3 to 4 years on a 2 extension fighting to just make the team as good as it was last year and this year.
they
Just
did that.
fighting to get there, and they may keep coming up short.
Absolutely.
So
They-
when
they-
you
they
recognize that,
They added 6 30-year-olds to this team.
yes.
For 1 year, $2 million contracts, and want to pretend like and the roster is better. Technically,
It's slightly
it's-
and more depth. I'll say that. But
it's slightly better if you take it. And I've done that. If you take it position by position, the roster is slightly better, with the exception of the two missing pieces are Rob Hunt and Christian Wilkins and Calais.
but I think they made up for it collectively. They've made up for it. But bro, I'm terrified of the outcome. The outcome of this season is going to predict the next 3 years if you extend Tua.
I can already tell you what the outcome of the season is going to be. They're going to win 10, 11 games, and then maybe they get a playoff win, and then they get smacked by the Ravens or the Chiefs. But the whole point is, can you continue to make forward progress? Will Tua in his 4th year in the offense be better than he was in his 3rd year in the offense?
So are we banking on Tua to hit that next level?
Yeah.
We're screwed.
When does he not hit that next level?
Stop. See this.
When is he not got better?
See. But here's the point. See, I'm a firm believer he already exceeded his ceiling.
Really?
Exceeded
his ceiling, so he can't get any better. So a quarterback, Tom Brady played 18 years in the same offensive system.
Yep.
You're telling me that a quarterback who's entering his 3rd season, who's still 26, who's gotten more weapons, new tight end, new wide receivers, basically another running back. You're telling me that he can't get better?
Nope. Until I see Tua come to that line of scrimmage, call his protections, identify where the blitz is coming from.
He does
and
now.
hit his hot right away. See, we talk about, I could show you film on every quarterback doing it, but is he doing it on a consistent basis to where he does that? That's him. So that's my whole thing. Until I can see him doing that on a consistent basis,
but
calling out where the blitz
you're assuming he's played now 4 seasons. Was Tom Brady was Matt Ryan, because Matt Ryan's a quarterback I compare to it to. Was Matt Ryan doing that in year 4 and 5? I would make the argument to you that, okay, people say, oh, Tua didn't have a better season last year.
With more games.
He completed 69% of his passes, where last year he completed 64. Yes, his yards per average was down, but obviously he played more games, threw more interceptions, took significantly more sacks. Not significant, but he played more games. But in what area? Pocket presence, poise, run play selection, calling out of plays. I don't think
Run
there's
play selection.
Yeah, run play. But they have a better run game identity.
Yeah. Tua not calling that though.
Yeah, he does call RPO. They run RPOs. He does
No,
call.
yeah. They run the RPO. I thought you meant like audibling into runs and different things like
No,
that.
but it's just like an audible. He has control and determines what happens on those particular plays. So,
No, you don't. Let me tell you what. Let me tell you why you don't. It's a part of the offense. It's like when you see the single high safety or you see 8 in the box, he ain't the only one changing it. All of them looking at each other. Yeah, all of them, because it's a part of the offense. It's designed that way. It's not like he's using
it. And then when he sees 7 in the box and two safeties high,
yeah,
he calls a handoff. He goes with the handoff. It's
they all call it though. It's not like he's doing like changing. Same? When he comes out of the huddle, he got the run play and ain't got the pass play. He even said it himself.
Bro, you splitting hairs over the number 1 rated offense in the NFL.
It's the number 1 Mike McDaniel rated offense in the NFL. But the biggest argument out here in these streets is the one that we make it seem like only Tua can do this in Miami.
No, I disagree with that.
Only 3-4 guys can do this.
It's a handful, but
why do we say that though?
I think it's disrespectful. I think it's not just Tua, but it's also Brock Purdy, and the people that have had success in this Mike Shanahan offense, which I've been a fan of for years, but even before they got here, because of the wide zone running game and the concept of the West Coast offense built into it. It's a beautiful offense. And
who hasn't had success in it?
Who hasn't?
Mm-hmm.
Brian Hoyer. But it's there. When you say success, like Matt Schaub had success in it. Matt Ryan had his best season in it. Okay, it's an offense that but it's also maximizes a player's strengths and supposedly hides their weaknesses. Like people, there are certain passes that I know Tua throws. There's a specific pass that he throws. Maybe 3 quarterbacks in the NFL could throw that pass, and it's that teardrop to the outside corner, 15, 20 yards. He does that in practice 10 times a day.
The deep crosser going towards the sideline.
Yes, and it's a beautiful pass. You build your offense around what he can do, and Tua is great at throwing a slant in with timing and with receiver in full stride, the accuracy. You build your offense around what he can do. Tua is good at putting air under the ball and throwing a catchable deep ball. You build your offense around what he can do. So I really dislike when people say, "Oh well, all these quarterbacks can run the same offense." I'm sorry, Ryan Tannehill can't run this offense. Ryan Tannehill can't throw. Ryan Tannehill doesn't have the pocket presence. Ryan Tannehill would get sacked 70 times behind this offensive line.
I disagree with that if they're asking him to get the ball out quick to hit that first read. But here's what I will say, Omar. I think the whole narrative of only a handful of quarterbacks can operate this offense is a disrespect to Mike McDaniel. Because everything you actually said is fact, but I look at it a different way. If I had another quarterback in here, I'm highlighting their strengths now. I'm creating, you see, the things that Tua doesn't do well, the outside routes and things like that can open up this offense. That might even be more potent, maybe. I don't know, but it might even be better.
Yeah, so, Tannehill could throw the outside route that Tua cannot.
Yeah, but besides Tannehill, just quarterbacks in the NFL, McDaniel has customized Tua's strengths in this offense, and he's highlighted. See, this is why I argue Tua hasn't gotten better, right, Omar? This is how I look at it, right? Let's take a basketball analogy. If Omar Kelly is 0 for 10 from the three-point line, and you're 10 for 10 on the wing, mid-range jumper, right? You're 100% mid-range, 0 for 10 at the three-point line, right? So what McDaniel did is came in and said, Omar, I ain't letting you take no more threes. I'm finna sit you at the 2-point line, and now you're going to take 22 pointers. Are you a better player? Your field goal percentage went up, but are you a better player?
Yeah.
But do you see what I'm actually trying to say here, though?
I
In
mean,
context,
okay,
you're better. You're more
what is it?
efficient.
Hold on. What are you alluding to or saying that Tua can't do that other quarterbacks
I'm alluding.
can?
Oh, Tua is terrible throwing outside the numbers.
Okay.
And that's why in those big games versus Buffalo, Baltimore, when they're pesky with the receivers, when they're clogging the inside, I'm watching film and linebackers got their back turned to the middle of the field, like, come on in here. And then Mike McDaniel goes to the drawing sheet and dial up out routes, and Tua just missing them. They open, he making the right read, but he missing them on the out routes. And that's I'm seeing a lot of that on film. If Tua was better throwing outside the numbers, then he would unlock a part of his game where this offense would actually be unstoppable. We have unstoppable moments, but we're not unstoppable.
I'm not disagreeing with you. That's not his strength. That's not, he can throw it, but it's a 3-pointer that I don't think he should take. And I've seen some very tragic moments in practice where, okay, they're doing situational stuff, and then that's the pass that's open. I remember one specific one, and he throws it and a cornerback jumps it. Yeah, you know what the situation is, and those are hurry up moments where, okay, that's not his game. But
if they clog the paint on you, Omar, they clog the paint, they clog the intermediate, they give you the 3.
Their answers to that, they just haven't gotten to them at the present moment or versus that opponent. That's, I think, why Jonnu Smith is here. That's why I think Odell Beckham is here. Their answers to those that they just haven't gotten to yet, maybe because they didn't have the personnel. And this isn't an excuse on Tua, because I know who Tua is as a quarterback. I know what his strengths and weaknesses are. I know how the coaching staff compensates for those strengths and weaknesses. But then again, every quarterback, with the exception of probably Patrick Mahomes, gets the same thing.
But are you developing him, though? Do you have him behind the scenes working on that 3? You see what I'm saying? And I don't think they are. I think they're like, let's just focus on this little.
Do you absolutely need him to throw a 15-yard out? No, you don't. When he could
in
throw
the Kansas City game, you needed it. In a lot of these games that we lost.
Hold on, which Kansas City game? You talking about first or second?
Both of them. I mean, Omar, the Bills game, both of them. That's the point. You want to know something? You know that Chargers game, not this year, but last year, when it was just a disaster? People like Mike McDaniel need to make adjustments. I go watch the film, and I'm watching them demolish the middle of the field. And Mike McDaniel comes out in the drive, and he's attacking the out routes to hold the ball too long and just won't throw it. Like, he hesitates. And then when he does, it's just misfire. Teams are starting to understand, force him to have to throw outside. No fly zone in the middle of the field.
They've known that since day one. They've known that since day one.
But those teams are beating us. When we go play the Giants,
specific style teams that are beating Miami are the teams that have a more physical mentality in the trenches. It's not the out route.
It's also the corners being physical on the receivers, disrupting the timing.
It's teams that have a physical nature to them. Kansas City, Baltimore, Tennessee, Buffalo. Yes, I'm not going to argue that. And to me, that's a team problem. That's not a Tua problem. They lost to Buffalo both times because they got dominated in the trenches both times.
I agree with that, but here's
they lost
the problem.
to Tennessee because they got dominated.
But there were still plays to be made by the quarterback in those games.
Yes, there were,
and that's where
he did not get it done.
And that's all I'm saying. Like,
neither did the offensive tackles, neither did the defensive tackles.
But Tua can't be in that conversation.
Neither did the cornerback. No, he can be in that conversation. He just can't. And heavy is the head that wears the crown. It is what it is. When you demand a $250 million contract, you gonna wear the crown. Does he know that he needs to play better in the clutch moments? Yes. Does he know I looked at his 2023 cut up yesterday, and there are so many plays where Tua is moving around in the pocket, evading pressure, rolling a little bit left, rolling a little bit right, just to buy his receivers time. And the thought process to him losing weight is so that he can make an extra seconds worth of
Of
time
eluding pressure for his receivers.
of eluding pressure. Because when you I forget who said it to me this year, but I really thought about it. When you really look at the elite quarterbacks of this league, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, even Jalen Hurts, it's their ability to evade pressure and buy time that separates them from the rest. It's the unscripted plays, the improvised plays. And what Tua has to do better at is he has to get better at the unimprovised plays. Now, him and Tyreek, they can improvise and make things happen downfield, but he needs to buy time to make things happen. And he's already great at pocket presence. He's already great at evading pressure.
Sometimes.
Now imagine if
Sometimes. I think no. He is really, don't get me wrong. Like night and day with Tannehill, right? That's the comparison.
You can't name five.
Sometimes he creates his own pressure. And it may be post-traumatic stress from Jesse Davis or whatever in the past, but sometimes he got a clean pocket and he steps into pressure.
Every quarterback does that. Does he have a good stretch of? No, he is top 5 at evading pressure, avoiding sacks, and it's not just because he's got a quick trigger. He's a quick processor too. So it's a lot of that is everybody's like, oh, he gets the ball out of his hand quickly. Yeah, that's partly because he processes the field quickly. Partly because his offensive line is at the end of the season with 3 interior backups is not that good. So they got to make it happen with what they got. The pressure is coming. Part of it was Austin Jackson, Tennessee game, playing with a torn oblique, and he can't hold up. You got to get rid of the ball. These are circumstances that happen in every NFL game. And does it all fall on Tua? No. But is he the one that's going to be held accountable for it? Yes. So it is what it is.
I know I done took up way more time than I was supposed to.
My point to you consistently is and this is the point that I make to every single pundit who is anti-Tua deal. Let's wait and see. Let's play the 5th-year option. Look at what your alternative is. What is your alternative?
My conclusion of an alternative is getting to our actual franchise quarterback sooner.
Getting to a franchise quarterback sooner.
Yeah.
And that means that you think that Tua is not your franchise quarterback.
Yeah, I've been on record saying that. He's a good quarterback, but not good enough. And he's not a franchise quarterback. Franchise quarterbacks have this one thing that I need, and that's just a little bit of carry ability.
Okay, so Dak's a franchise quarterback.
That's still to be seen.
Okay, so
right now I don't have him in the franchise quarterback category. Lamar Jackson. No, I don't see Jared Goff as a franchise
Trevor
quarterback.
Lawrence is a franchise.
Not at all.
Okay. Matthew Stafford, franchise quarterback.
Yes.
Okay. Jalen Hurts, franchise quarterback.
Nope. Along for the ride.
Kyler Murray, franchise quarterback.
Heck no.
Justin Herbert, franchise quarterback.
Still to be seen, but right now, no.
So technically, what it sounds like is there are only like 4 franchise quarterbacks in the league. In your opinion.
That's it.
So
Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, in my opinion, Patrick Mahomes, and a whole bunch of guys that we're gonna wait and see. CJ Stroud, we'll wait and see.
Josh Allen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And
even
CJ
though his
Stroud,
team falters, he's still carrying them. He's still carrying them to where they get, as far as they get. He dragging them along. He can't get over the hump, but he dragging them to the point to where they get. That's all I'm saying. Have that little bit of drag ability. CJ Stroud last year, with what he had coming into the season, I don't give you credit off of one season, but he's on the trajectory. Jordan Love on the trajectory. So he's not yet.
He had half a good season.
He's not. No. But let's say 65% good season, not half. But in that 65, never missed a beat, Omar. I mean, it was
not that he got eliminated.
Yeah. But the first time quarterback getting over the hump in the first round,
Okay.
and you had a chance to win at the end. You made the big mistake.
Tua played in his first playoff game last year. It was the fourth worst weather game in the NFL history.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem, Omar.
No weapons, by the way.
Here's the problem with Tua playing his first playoff game last year. He should have played it in his first year with that Buffalo debacle. He should have played it in his second year with that Tennessee debacle. He should have played it in his third year, but he can't stay healthy. So don't give me that with CJ Stroud and Jordan Love is having nothing around them and wheeling their team into
nothing, or CJ Stroud had nothing around him.
You tell me preseason what he had around him.
I watched those joint practices and I said I like all of his receivers. He had a really good tight end.
Bro, I saw you there. I saw you. I was right there with Tua's family and Jalen Waddle's coaching staff from high school. I was right there watching what was happening in the red zone. They got good receivers, but they were nobodies, Omar. They weren't proven.
They were good receivers though. I didn't expect
compared to Miami.
Miami had two receivers. They had an arsenal.
Come on, bro. One of them was hurt, but I'm just saying, Jordan Love, he had a receiver over 1,000 yards, just distributing the football, equal opportunity employer.
We gonna have to see. I can't give Jordan Love credit for half a good.
No,
season.
I'm not saying they are franchise quarterbacks, but are they not on the trajectory? Are they not doing so far with
and what makes Tua not on that trajectory?
Because he ain't ever, not once in the 4 years, had carry ability.
Arizona. Baltimore.
We're talking about Jordan Love's 12 last games, CJ Stroud's season, and you pointing one game per season. That's what I mean by carry ability. I can tell you Zach Wilson had a game before.
Jordan, I'm not saying that Tua is more talented than Jordan Love because Jordan Love has a superior arm, but processing speed, pocket presence,
how you look in the big game. How does
Jordan Love look in a big game?
Did you see them last 12 games in that first playoff game?
I'm talking about a playoff game.
Did you see that first playoff game? How he stepped out on the Cowboys like that? Did you see Tua versus the Cowboys in the same season where we kicked 5 field goals and the only points we got were turnovers
with Raheem? I don't know if Raheem was injured in that game. That was I can't remember when Waddle and Raheem went out. Like, people are judging Tua based on the final stretch of the season with no Pro Bowl running back, one-legged All-Pro running back, and then his number 2 wide receiver.
Did you see what Jordan Love had, Omar? He didn't even have his best receiver, and then the rest, nobody had over 1,000 yards. His running back was gimping. Like, we're talking about similar circumstances. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to say their coach is better than McDaniel.
CJ Stroud rose to the occasion, so did Jordan Love, and we're still waiting for Tua to rise to the occasion. No disagreement there.
That's all I'm saying. Give me a little carry ability.
26, entering his 5th season in the NFL, a 4-year starter who proved for the first time that he's healthy for an entire career, has put up ridiculous numbers, has franchise records already. Who's to say that he can't get better, can't develop? And you're right. I'm a big believer he's gotten better every single year. His processing speed looks faster, and it's going to continue to get faster. His understanding and command of the offense is going to continue to get better. Now the question,
even if he sit out camp,
that's on Chris Greer. That's on Chris Greer.
Well, I get that, but I guess I'll say this, my last thing, because I know you got a rule. I'm a firm believer Chris Greer is going to cave anyway.
What do. Does he show that he caves?
I get that, but here's the only history. You're right. It ain't much history at all.
Howard is the only.
Yeah, that's the only history, but that was because what was there wasn't panning out. Noah wasn't panning out. Byron was showing injuries, so he had to. But in this situation, does he not have to?
I don't know.
Is he going to risk Chubb, Ron Armstead, Ramsey, all of these veterans he brought in? Is he going to risk this season to make a point or to stick to his guns? That's the question. Is he willing to risk what he's built of what's supposed to be the ultimate season? If any season is the ultimate season, this is it. Is he going to play around with that?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. Depending on whether or not he's willing to give a Trevor Lawrence-esque deal. The market is the market.
And so, you think Tua will not get a $73 million signing bonus?
He's not getting
more than $50 million. And do you think that's really the holdup here?
No, he's not getting a $70. I don't think they would even ask for a $73 million signing bonus. If they did, I don't think the signing bonus is the issue. I think
I do. I think that's like Chris Greer. I do think he wants to sign him.
I can tell you for a fact the guaranteed money is the issue, not the signing bonus. The signing bonus. Steve Ross has when has that man ever pinched a penny? When? Name it.
Yeah,
name that one time.
Yeah, but is Stephen Ross at a point, right? Have we ever talked about the Stephen Ross aspect? What if Stephen Ross, as a businessman, is saying, I promised Miami a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. If Tua balls, I believe we could get it done in the next 3 years. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't ball, we ain't getting it done in the next 3 years. I think we need to do fifth year so that we know if we're gonna ball, and I'll keep spending money. Because maybe that's the aspect that nobody's thinking about that could be happening. Stephen Ross walked through the door and said, we can't blindly just throw away the next 3 to 4 years not knowing. I mean, we got to take chances.
They are all on board with believing in Tua, and they see things that we don't see.
At the right price.
Huh?
At the less risky price.
Yes, at the less risky price.
But that's not all on board, though.
But no, that's doing good business. And when you have the leverage, if you go to a car dealership and you know they're at the end of they're at the end of the month, they got to clear all this inventory. Mm-hmm. Are you going in there and are you going in there and you going to take the deal at their price?
No.
You going to tell them this is my price, so I'm walking out the door. Okay. Well, Miami isn't in that position. They have him locked up for a year. Would it be uncomfortable to tag him and play that out? Yeah, but you could just tag him for now and then give him the ridiculous deal later, and then it's even easier on your cap because now the numbers, you can play around with the numbers and then it stretches.
Well, you can't tag them now.
What you mean?
You said tag him now. They can't tag him now.
I'm not saying not tag him now, but that's the leverage that they have, which is okay. You don't want to $23 million. Tua's gonna make like $1.3 million a game, which is the most he's ever made in his life. This is more money than
he can't play on the fifth year though, Omar. He cannot. If I'm his team, you cannot play on the fifth year.
You can't. You shouldn't. Christian Wilkins
not
did it.
Tua, but not Tua with the history. Christian Wilkins, that's a different story. But Tua can't afford to play on the fifth year, bro.
Same agency camp. Same agency camp.
Omar, no. Forget what they do. Like me and you can't play on this fifth year. That's ridiculous.
And you know what they also saying? You can't take less than a market value deal because not only are you going to impact, you're going to impact how we get business from quarterbacks because every agent is going to say, look at the deal they got to her. Look how they did to her. You really want to be in the hands of this organization that couldn't even get Tua to get a Trevor Lawrence deal? Come on. See, this is a whole lot of politics and like, I'm sorry. It's bigger than just Tua's contract. This is impacting their future business. So they're not going to take below market
appealing value. For other quarterbacks and stuff. The last question real quick. All right. Last question. What's your thoughts on the whole notion that as far as the salary caps with the owners, do you think there is a possibility of collusion? Like
you talking about the lawsuit?
Well, no. I already know about that. I'm talking about. Do you think does this happen in the NFL?
Collusion? Absolutely.
No, here's the collusion I'm talking about because it's Tua related.
Okay.
Chris, this is getting out of control. You got to make a stand because, like, come on, Tua ain't.
And my responsibility, why I got to make the stand? Why y'all ain't make the stand?
But does that call happen?
Yeah, it happens at the owner. It's not even a private. It happens at the owners' meeting. They collude on positions and bringing it back. And yes, they got to bring what price? Like the defensive tackle position, please. That thing.
Did you see Hard Knocks last night?
No, I didn't.
They said about Christian Wilkins. They were like, should we go after Christian? Would we pay 22? That was their thought. They were like, would we pay 22 for Christian? This man ain't getting no 22. That was their
the Giants
season.
And Dexter. They got Dexter Lawrence, right?
Yeah, I thought they got the pass rusher. Yeah.
But
Christian was on the map, but their price would we pay the backup plan? Would we go 22 for Christian? And look at what he got. So yeah, that number is out of whack.
There's collusion in the NFL, but also keep in mind that there's also collusion with agents and all of these quarterback agents. They communicate, they talk to one another, they know where they are. I promise you, Jordan Love's agent knows where Tua's agent is. Tua's agent knew where Trevor Lawrence's agent was. Jared Goff. They all work together and
they hold that line.
And they hold that line. And Tua is right now holding the line, and so is Jordan Love. And unfortunately, it puts the organization and the fan base in a tough spot. We got 2 weeks to figure this out. If we don't figure it out in 2 weeks, we probably see Tua doing 7-on-7s for the first 2 weeks, and then we get to the deadline of the exhibition season, and it is what it is, man. The question you got to ask yourself is how many weeks of unrestricted practice does Tua need to be at full go? Because you might be saving his arm if he doesn't do.
Well, which is true, because I got a theory on that too.
Yes, you might be saving his arm if he doesn't do everything. And I am not.
Do you think his arm fades late in the season?
Why you got to ask me that question?
Well, I'm not going to ask you that question, but let me tell you what I think. I've been studying this since his rookie year. You know that last disastrous Buffalo game and stuff? Me and a couple...
Last year?
No, his first year, right? Here's what, like his first season in the NFL, Omar, I was wondering, I was like, I don't think Tua's playing bad. I think his arm is fading.
I'll tell you this. Every quarterback's arm, I used to see dead periods where Ryan Fitzpatrick's arm died on him.
Start fading. See,
every quarterback's arm fades.
I've seen that every year with Tua and couldn't say that was it because he got hurt and couldn't finish the season to know if it was. Last year, he finished the season. You know what? I never went and looked at the film to see about the throws. Like, how much
there was a period where he was limited in practice. Every quarter. Sorry, in December, everybody is on fumes. So it's not fair. Yes, and a quarterback throws the ball a lot. Yes.
All right. I ain't asked you that question. It's something that I've been looking at.
Every quarterback. The difference is even Josh Allen's arm fades a little bit, but he's still got a cannon. So
I think Mahomes gets away with the fade because of the way he throws the ball. It's not coming from like, how he has that
sidearm throw.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's less strenuous in my opinion. But I'll let you go off of the collusion piece. I know I said last question, but percent chance that Tua plays on a 5th-year option.
I would put it at 30%.
That's not good. That's not good.
Yeah. I think at some point, Tua's going to look at the situation and say, hey, they're about to give my family $120 million in guaranteed money, and then I've got triggers that allow me to get back at the table if I play well. I'm sorry, there's a whole huge difference between $120 million and $23 million. Yeah. Huge difference. That's generational wealth. And I believe, and unfortunately, this is what I think the Dolphins are using against him. They know that he will eventually cave.
I think the other way. But hey, man, ladies and gentlemen, Omar Kelly joining TD
Yeah,
Fans Talk.
Tony Doe? Who is Tony Doe? I don't know no Tony Doe.
Oh, Tony Dow. That's my actual name. I didn't change it because I've been doing business interviews for people with the network Roundtable Sports. So I put my actual name up. I didn't even realize it was still up there. But
well, Tony, it's nice to meet you, TD.
Well, we done met before. You know, gave me the business on Twitter every chance you get. So don't act brand new.
That's because you troll, man. You know
what, Omar? I do troll, but some of it is my true belief, and people call it troll. So I've worked into it. Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I get it that they call me a savage on Twitter. I don't accept.
No, you're confusing. That's what you are. You're confusing. You're confused. Like sometimes I'll be like, "That's the Omar I know." You get in your tour deer bag. I don't know what it is. It's like,
listen, I say the same things over and over again, and I said this the last time we talked. What is your alternative? You have none.
You said, but you know what? This is why I got to use your Twitter against you. You said it a million times. If you ain't got an elite quarterback, you need one. You just believe he will be. But you recognize right now he's not.
Correct. He's this close. He take this close. They take care of Tennessee. Anyway, I'm not even gonna.
Hey, we don't.
I waited all season for that it factor and that intangible that allows him to rise to the occasion. It didn't show up, but
did you have this hope for Tannehill?
Oh no.
So you just automatically.
Understand. Here's the difference. Understand. I watch garbage practice after garbage practice after garbage practice after garbage game after garbage game after garbage practice
with garbage coaches.
For 7 years with Tannehill. Like
with garbage coaches.
Tua can outperform. Like that's the thing. You got to go to training camp. You got to see the it's easy for him. I remember. This is a very distinct moment in my career where it was a Philadelphia, I think it was 2017. It was a year where Carson Wentz and Nick Foles were on the same Eagles team. They went up for a joint practice. This is during the Adam Gase era. And I believe what's the don't care, Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler was the starting quarterback for Dolphins.
Stop cussing. That's a curse word around here.
Listen,
that name.
And I watched that Eagles practice, and the ball never touched the ground, whether it was Carson Wentz or Nick Foles. And they executed third down after third down, red zone touchdown after red zone touchdown, drive the length of it. And this is against the Dolphins. And I said to myself, like, what the hell? I was like, this is what QB play looks like. I was like, damn. And that was when I knew the Eagles were going to be good. I think they went to the Super Bowl that year Nick Foles won it, or the year after that. I can't remember which one. And that always created a framework for what quarterback practice is supposed to look like after spending all these years watching Chad Henne and Ryan Tannehill and just garbage.
Garbage.
Then I started looking at Tua, and I'm like ask anybody who goes to training camp. When they go to red zone drill, Tua's touchdown, 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 touchdown. 7-on-7s, carving. You know, third down. The only time that he really struggles in practice, coincidentally, is situational periods where, and
comes with time.
These things will eventually come. And when you get him the weaponry that he needs, it'll eventually come.
He got the weaponry he needs.
Now,
and y'all keep adding. He had the weaponry he needed. Y'all just keep piling on like, okay, now he need this. Now he need Jonnu. Now y'all are adding on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I get it. I think what I'm reading from you is you just believe.
No, I do believe.
I've never
not believed.
Yeah, you believe.
I've never not believed.
I just don't. But here's what I want people to understand about me. I want to. I want to. I'm waiting. Like when he has those miraculous games, I'll be like, I'm excited, but I'll wait for the last 6 weeks. And every week I'm live streaming games, Omar, and I'm like this. All right, Tua, this is the moment to become our franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. He still got 4 games. It's all right. These happen. All right, here we go. Next game. Oh, and by the end of it, it's like I'm mad. I'm just furious. And
I used to start in those clutch moments, kill opportunities. I used to put out on Twitter the time, like, okay, this is your time to win the game. 3:11 left in the game. Yep, Tua has not arrived in those moments,
and I'm waiting on it. I mean, if you go see my reaction to the Baltimore game, you know them games that you mentioned, Arizona. You know, they're like, oh, TD done seen the light now. I'm his biggest fan, you know, because I need those moments. As a fan who suffered for 20 plus years, I need those moments. But I did promise myself at the Tannehill, I'm not going to be sold until I'm sold. I'm waiting on that moment for you to cross the border. Then I'll make excuses because I know you can do it. And what I mean by doing it, not just spurts, but giving me a consistent stretch
so that's
in
why
the tough moments.
Dak Prescott the highest paid quarterback in the league?
No. And see, even on that, it's not that I want to make Dak Prescott the highest paid quarterback, but I'm willing to invest in something that may be 2% better overall. Because as long as it's better, I'm willing to give it a look and a try. You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying here. So, and if you can't get that done, I'm all for the draft. I'm not tripping. I'm not trying to get Tannehill again. This would be a worse version of Tannehill if we extend Tua and he bombs out. Because, and when I say worse, is because we had bigger hopes.
Oh.
We had bigger hopes.
So you just were investing in a quarterback that you knew couldn't take you anywhere. But now you have a quarterback who showed signs to take you someplace.
Thank you. It's even worse. It's even worse. It hurts more. It hurts more, Omar, because Tua's the type of quarterback where he may not burn you for 7 years. It might be 10 or 11.
I don't get the point, but
because he's good enough not to be good enough. He can like look at Kirk Cousins, right? How long was he in Minnesota? Did it work out when it was all said and done? Did they, build it? Now, I personally look at those two quarterbacks different. I think Kirk Cousins is better than Tua overall as a player. I think Kirk Cousins takes a lot more brutality on his body. I think he delivers the football despite
in clutch moments, just like Tua has.
No. I agree with you, but Kirk can put his team in a better situation. I think Kirk can win 1 or 2 more regular season games than Tua Tagovailoa can, which in turn would put the team in a better position. So that's all I'm saying when I say better. You're right, hasn't delivered in the postseason, so therefore it's like, But then what would Kirk Cousins look like in a system like this?
My thing is Tua is this era's version of Matt Ryan right now. And what's the harm in building around him for 10 years, knowing that maybe I'll have one shot of making it to a Super Bowl and winning it? No harm. No harm. I don't know what the alternative is. There is no alternative.
Keep searching till you find one. Your words.
Yeah, and there's nothing out there.
I guess the biggest travesty of the organization is not continuing. You can own Tua, but not continuing to invest in that position behind him.
They refuse to, and I don't even want to.
Okay,
don't even bring up that conversation. They do not fundamentally believe in quarterback competition. So
Listen, Omar, we had a great conversation because I was supposed to have you for 30 minutes and it looked like it had been an hour and a half. Man, I appreciate you. Can you let everybody know where to find your work?
Miami Herald. We're going to have a training camp special out there offering you a discounted rate for the rest of the season. We don't know what the number is yet, but when it comes out, I promise you want to take it. Because we provide you, me, Barry, and I'll have a new partner soon. We'll provide you content that you don't get anywhere else. So hopefully you'll take advantage of that offer. It won't be up forever. I don't know how long it's going to be up, but I'm twisting arms to make sure we get a good discounted rate for Dolphin fans.
So should they take advantage of the dollar first month, or should they wait on what you're talking about?
Just wait.
Just wait. All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm telling you now, every time those titles come across and it's a good article, you don't want to be like I was a few years ago, clicking on it, then you get that stop. I'm like, All right,
Yeah.
let's do it. So go ahead and
I appreciate the
subscribe.
click though. I do appreciate the click.
No,
'Cause the
I
click-
I mean, I have it. So, I
yeah.
subscribe to the Miami Herald. You can get all of the exclusive content, all the exclusive stories. And we all know we're talking about a guy who's actually in the building, having conversations with the players, coaches, and potentially some inside information, spread out here and there. So make sure you check it out. Omar Kelly, been doing this for a long time. Real talk, bro. I respect what you do. I don't always agree with everything, but that's what it's about, having that good banter, good conversation
Hey
like we
man,
just had.
yeah. Everybody needs their joker. So I want you to continue to do what you do.
Man, I ain't finna get into it with you, Omar. All right, man. Thanks so much, though. You take care, bro. And I'll see you in these Twitter streets. All right.
All right, TD.
All right, bro. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That was Omar Kelly coming through. I hope y'all enjoyed the content, man. Well, I am working on Kurt Warner potentially, but there's a few conflicts or whatever, but we'll see how that goes. But hopefully it works out. I've been reaching out, so we'll see how that goes with the back and forth. But also RG3 as well. We'll see how that one goes as well. But hopefully we can have more conversations like this, difference of opinions, different thought processes, different angles and how we see things. I think that was a good conversation, man. And that's what it's about. Good conversation with opposing views, bringing it all together to have a really good conversation, man. Shout out to the 700 people watching right now, over 400 on YouTube, 300 on Twitter. Salute to you all. Make sure you come over to the YouTube channel and subscribe to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I haven't been streaming the last few days. Me and Omar was setting this up, and I wanted to give it some time to breathe and just hit y'all with a good banger early in the day. So salute to you all. Shout out to V21. He said, we don't care about the money, it's the commitment. Y'all know how I roll. Sorry I didn't read the super chat live, because when I have a guest on, like an official guest, I don't read super chats. I want to be respectful of their time and what I brought them on for, because the conversation can get crazy and weird reading the super chat. So when I have an official guest on, I typically read the super chats when they're gone and at the end. So just FYI, all right? So I don't want you to feel, oh man, why didn't you read mine while he was here or nothing like that. But yeah, anyway, man, thank y'all. Love y'all. I'm finna get up out of here. Fins up no matter what. I love y'all. Again, training camp is coming up. Make sure you check out Omar's content. He told you where to find it. I'll be giving you great content as well. I will see y'all soon. Peace. I am out. Time to work on some roundtable sports stuff, man. I'm busy on the company right now. It's doing some big things. Y'all go check it out. Love y'all. See you soon. Peace.